Hello out there. This is Ted with Ted's Rideshare. Once again, I found a great story about Uber featured on CNBC.com, and it was posted just today. Uber CEO tells staff company will cut down on costs, treat hiring as privilege. Whoa. So, first, that tells me, oh my God, they are in a world of hurt, which we all knew. Uber is struggling to get profit, and they just keep trying to figure out how to cut the costs to make a bigger buck. So the key points for this story is Uber will slash spending on marketing and incentives and treat hiring as privilege. CEO Dara Khosrowshahi, whatever, yeah, Dara. I'll just call him Dara because I can't. I don't. I have never heard a proper way to pronounce his last name. He said in an email to staff on Sunday. Number two, it's clear that the market is experiencing a seismic shift, and we need to react accordingly, Dara said. Uber will now focus on achieving profitability on a free cash flow basis rather than adjusted EBITDA, he said. So, down to the actual story, and there is the devil himself, Dara. Um, Uber will cut back on spending and focus on becoming a leaner business to address a seismic shift in investor sentiment, CEO Dara told employees in an email obtained by CNBC. After earnings, I've spent several days meeting investors in New York and Boston, Dara said in the email, which was sent out late Sunday. It is clear that the market is experiencing a seismic shift and we need to react accordingly. Tech stocks have plunged sharply from the highs of the coronavirus pandemic as investors fret over the prospect of an end to the era of cheap money that defined a historic bull market. The Nasdaq Composite recorded its fifth consecutive week of declines last week, its longest weekly losing streak since 2012. To address the shift in economic sentiment, the ride-hailing firm will slash spending on marketing and incentives and treat hiring as a privilege, Dara said. Right there, slashing money on marketing, good idea. Now, the biggest thing about Uber, they need drivers. Guess what? Drivers need incentives to drive. Uh, this week alone, my incentive to drive for Uber is not really there. They are not offering a real big incentive like $195 for 80 rides or 60 rides, something like that. I'm like, that isn't worth my time. If I go over to Lyft, who is offering these consecutive ride streaks in like multiple blocks, I make a lot more in fewer rides than I do driving for Uber. Now, back to the story. We have to make sure our unit economics work before we go big, the Uber boss wrote. That makes a lot of sense. Least efficient marketing and incentive spend will be pulled back. We will treat hiring as a privilege and be deliberate about when and where we add headcount, he added. We have to make sure our unit economics work before we go big, the Uber boss wrote. The least efficient marketing and incentive spend will be pulled back. We will treat hiring as a privilege and be deliberate about when and where we add headcount, he added. We will be even more hardcore about costs across the board. It makes Uber the latest tech company to warn of a slowdown in hiring. Facebook parent company Meta last week told staff it would stop or slow down the pace of adding mid-level or senior roles, while Robinhood is cutting about 9% of its workforce. Uber shares were down nearly 9% on Monday afternoon. The stock, which hit a new 52-week low Monday, has fallen more than 40% year to date. Uber will now focus on achieving profitability on a free cash flow basis rather than adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, Dara said. We have made a ton of progress in terms of profitability, setting a target for $5 billion in adjusted EBITDA in 2024, but the goalposts have changed, Dara said. Now it's about free cash flow. We can and should get there fast. Uber's revenue more than doubled to $6.9 billion in the first quarter as demand for its rides business rebounded thanks to a relaxing of COVID restrictions. The company has relied heavily on its Eat food delivery unit to boost sales in the pandemic. Still, Uber also posted a $5.9 billion loss in this period, citing a slump in its equity investments. We are serving multi-trillion-dollar markets, but market size is irrelevant if it doesn't translate into profit, he said. Though investors are happy with the growth of Uber Eats coming out of the pandemic, the segment should have grown even faster, Dara said. He added the company's freight business is a growth opportunity that needs to get even bigger. I can tell you right now, I don't expect Uber Freight to really go anywhere because these freight drivers get paid better by big companies than what Uber pays. Swift, I mean, Night Trucking. There's so many companies out there that do long haul that Uber Freight, I don't really see it ever going anywhere. He ended the note with a rallying call to staff. Let's make it legendary. Go, get it! Yeah, you tell him, Dara. Uber's cost-cutting strategy highlights a divergence from Lyft, its main competitor in the US and Canada. Lyft said Wednesday it would increase spending to attract more drivers due to surging gas prices. Hence, like I said at the beginning, I will gladly do more Lyft because they are offering better bonuses at the moment. Both firms have faced a shortage of drivers as demand for taxis have bounced back. But Uber says its driver base is at a post-pandemic high, meaning the company won't need to invest a great deal in luring more drivers to the platform. Now, there is a full letter. I don't want to go reading all of this. I will definitely be posting the link at the top of the description so that you can read it if you really want to. But I believe Dara is starting to scramble, and I love it because he's going, how do we make money? Let's do this. Let's do that. Listen to the drivers. Guess what? You'll make money. But he thinks he knows everything, so we'll see how it goes. But at this point, I think it's a good point to end this video. And if you have not already, like, subscribe, Check out the rest of my videos. I have a ton of them, from bad drivers to bad passengers, even a few funny passengers. You all stay safe out there, and for my fellow drivers, stay safe on them roads. They are getting crazy with more people starting to drive. Y'all have a great day.